Yesterday, we were talking about uncertainty of the macro models about the effect of the policy. We talked about that. So the question which is arising is that should uncertainty about the effects of the policy lead policymakers to do less? The answer in general is yes, right? So in general, the answer is yes. Blanket has given a very beautiful example to explain this. So he says this, and every line of this example is important. So you have to be clear on this. Suppose the unemployment rate in the economy is 7%. Right. And suppose central bank uses expansionary monetary policy, right? So that output could be increased, because when the output is going to increase, people will be employed and hence unemployment will fall. That's an idea, right? So let us assume that central bank knows if central bank is not going to hold the expansionary monetary policy or is not going to conduct expansionary monetary policy, unemployment is going to be 7% next year also. So today is 7%, next year is 7%. Assuming central bank knows that absent monetary policy changes, just, I mean, you'll have to wait for the entire example to show up, and how beautifully he has given you the argument that in case if there is an uncertainty of the models, then you should be rather doing less, not exactly as what one particular model is saying. Absent the monetary policy changes, unemployment will still be 7% next year. And let's say it also knows that the natural rate of unemployment is 5%. Right. So economy is hovering around 7% and the natural rate of employment is 5%. So basically the idea is that economy is 2% above the natural rate. 2% above the natural. Okay. Now comes what is called Okun's law. So abhi tak we are just writing out the assumptions for our example. Now comes Okun's law. So Okun's law is basically the idea that there is a negative relationship between the output and the employment, the output growth and the change in unemployment rate. So please write this, Okun's law. The negative relationship between the output growth and the change in unemployment rate. Just think about it. When output is growing, it means your income is growing. Then naturally, there will be more demand. When I say you in macro, I mean nation's income is growing. So if GDP is growing, nation's income is growing, it means demand is growing. It means firms will be incentivized to produce more to cater to that demand. Hence, when firms are going to produce more, they will be employing more people. When employment is going to be more, unemployment is going to be less. So there is a negative relationship between the output growth and the unemployment. One thing. This is there. And Blanchard gives this expression. UT minus 1 equals to minus 0.4 GYT minus, you can say GY bar, or the this GY bar, GYT is the actual growth rate. So GY bar is basically your that level of output growth which is required to keep unemployment rate constant. So let's say if my GYT is equal to GY bar, then this side is equal to 0. When RHS is equal to 0, then UT is equal to UT minus 1. So whatever was the unemployment rate last year, this is the unemployment rate this year as well. So there is no change in the unemployment rate. So GY bar is basically that level of the output, that growth rate of output, which is going to keep the unemployment rate from increasing or from changing. So, and book also write this thing as 3%, let's say, from their econometric exercise. And they say there's, supposedly if this, I call this as 3%. So how do you interpret this 3%? It means that the annual output growth should be at least 3%. If you do not want unemployment rate to change. When will unemployment rate not change? When the unemployment last year was equal to unemployment this year, right? This thing. So one thing is this. Okay. Ye main baat, I want to tell you this thing, one thing. And supposedly, central bank knows one more thing. It knows 1% more output growth for a year leads to a 0.4% reduction in unemployment. Read the words. I mean, read the words. You have to read it between the lines. 1% more output growth. What do you mean by more? More is, say, for example, GY bar was 3%. So output should grow at 4%. So that 4% minus 3% is 1%. This is going to lead to a reduction of 0.4% reduction in the unemployment rate. So it is 0.4 into 1%, that is 0.4% reduction in the unemployment, right? So, but aise hoga nahi. This is, so what I'm trying to say, don't write this. UT minus 1 is equal to 0.4. So 1% more output growth. So 1% more output growth kya hoga? If GY bar is 3%, let's say, then this is 4%, this is 3%. So ye negative hai na? So UT, and this is going to be what? 0.4 into 1 is 0.4. So UT minus 1 is equal to minus 0.4, or you can say it is negative. So UT is less than UT minus 1. means the unemployment this year is less than the unemployment last year. Unemployment this year is less than the unemployment last year. So 1% more output growth for a year is going to lead to 4% reduction in the unemployment rate. All of this central bank knows. Central bank knows. Okay, there is something more we are going to assume. And why are we doing all this? We are doing all this just to show when there is an uncertainty, it is better to do less what the models are predicting. Keep this thing in mind. Keep this thing in mind. So it's a lengthy example. You need to be with me throughout. Supposedly, if the central bank knows that it could use monetary policy to reach to achieve 5% growth rate in output over the coming year, right? So suppose the central bank knows बेटा जब एक बात हमेशा याद रखना, जब पढ़ाई करी जाती है ना तो बहुत पेशेंस के साथ करी जाती है, भागा नहीं जाता टेक्स्ट बुक से। टेक्स्ट बुक्स को पढ़ने का एक ही तरीका होता है, बहुत धीरे पढ़ना, और हो सके तो साथ साथ नोट्स बनाते हुए पढ़ना, तभी वो समझ में आती। मुझे तो नहीं आता तुम लोगों का समझ में कि ऐसे वो रीड करके गए ऐसे ऐसे, अच्छा अच्छा, ये नहीं आएगा समझ में अनलेस यू राइट इट, राइट? So some of you might be thinking मैं क्यों लिख रहा हूँ इतना सारा, but point is because I can only teach what I understand, and what I believe is that it is always better to write, then you will understand more. अपने हाथ से लिखना सीखो, अपने हाथ से लिखोगे, जो अपने हाथ से लिखा है वो ज्यादा याद रहेगा, क्योंकि तुम सोच भी रहे होगे जब लिख रहे हो। Suppose central bank knows that it could use monetary policy to achieve 5% more output growth. For the next year, बहुत ध्यान से देखने वाला है, but a 5% output growth over the next year, so that would be UT minus 1 is equal to 0.4. फिर से ध्यान से देखेंगे. I'm saying 5% more output growth. So when I say more output growth, it is relative to this GY bar. So when you say 5% more output growth, this is not GYT. It is GYT minus GY bar. So when you're saying 5% more output growth, it is GYT minus GY bar. Okay? More of what? More from relative to GY bar. Okay? If GY bar is 3%, then 5% more output growth means GYT should be 8%. But here you are saying 5% more, so it is GYT minus GY bar. So it is 5 out. Right? So this is going to be minus 2%. So what you are saying, it means UT is equal to minus 2% of UT minus 1. Means whatever was the level of unemployment growth, unemployment rate last year, unemployment rate this year is going to be 2% less than this. This is what an idea. Because minus, so it is UT minus 1 is negative. UT less than UT minus 1 means unemployment rate this year is less than unemployment rate last year. Okay. So you remember what is that we said? We said this thing, na? unemployment rate in the economy right now is 7%, but the natural unemployment rate is 5%. By doing this policy, you are able to reduce the unemployment rate by 2%. So the unemployment rate, which was sitting at 7%, now it has come down to 2%. So it means that by doing this policy, you've been able to achieve a natural rate of unemployment. So it would be down to the natural rate of unemployment, 5%. यहाँ तक बात सही? अभी तक it is all example. We have not able to show our point which we want. So the point is how much money supply central bank should increase. Now again, this is important. You have to write. Central bank should increase. Suppose, this is again a supposition. Suppose 4% increase in money supply leads to 0.85% increase in output. This is an assumption. But if money supply is increasing, then definitely your LM curve is going down, output is increasing. This much you know. And we have just supposed this, let's say, like this. Okay. So if 4% is increasing this much, so 1% increase in money supply, unitary method, 0.85 upon 4, which is 0.21% increase in output. 0.21% increase in output. Now, central bank wants to achieve with expansionary monetary policy an increase of 5%. This is what central bank wants. Central bank through expansionary monetary policy wants to achieve 5% growth in output. Here you are saying if you increase 1% money supply, it is going to lead to 0.21% increase in output, right? So you can say .21% increase in output के लिए how much money supply should be increased? 1% increase in money supply. Right. For 5% increase in output, money supply has to increase by 0.21 into 5. So 5% upon 0.21. I'm so sorry. 5% upon 0.21. Right. Are you getting this? So 0.21% increase in output you've got by 1% increase in money supply. So 1% increase in output you would have got by 1% upon 0.21% increase in money supply. Unitary method. 5% increase in output you will get by 5% upon 0.21% increase in money supply. So So it is going to lead to 23.8% increase in money supply. Oh. Right. So the point is, if we go by this, then central bank should increase money supply by 23.8%. So that it can increase output by 5%. So that it can increase output by 5%. And all of this is assuming that central bank knows all of these things with certainty. So, but they can be the different models. There is some model which will be saying that 1% increase in output, just say yahan pe 1% increase in money supply is leading to 0.21% increase in output. They can be the models which can say 1% increase in money supply can lead to 0.3% increase in output, something like that also, or 3% increase in output. So they can be the ranges. So in reality, you don't just have one model, you have different models on different assumptions, giving you different results, right? So, but in the presence of uncertainty, central bank takes uncertainty about what? Uncertainty about the models themselves. Central bank takes the range of responses. Right. So one, and the model says there are different models which are saying that 1% increase in money supply can lead to anywhere from 0% increase in output to, let's say, 3%, 0.75% increase in output. So we have taken something in middle here, right? That is 1% increase in money supply is leading to 0.21% increase. So, but there are different models which are saying that you can have the output ranges anywhere between 0% to 0.75%, right? So, and in that case, 23.8% increase in money supply can lead to, because जब 0% है तो 0% increase in output है भैया, and this जो 0.21% increase in output वाला case था, that was leading to 23.8%, right? And sorry, 23.8% increase in money supply वाला case था, that was leading to 5% increase in output. But here 23.8% increase in money supply wala case with 0.75% increase in output is actually leading to how much? 17.9% increase in output. Just see. And how have I got 17.9? This is 23.8 into 0.7, right? 0.75. You with me? And when output is going to increase by this much, the unemployment can also increase, can also decrease by 0% to 7%. So these output numbers. So when output is not increasing, then definitely employment is not going to increase, then unemployment is not going to decrease. These decrease in output numbers imply in turn, because when output is what do you call increasing, then unemployment has to fall, right? So you can just multiply when output is not increasing. So 0.4 into 0, that is 0 here, 0.4 into 17.9 in turn imply, in turn decrease unemployment anywhere between 0% and 7%, right? And 7%. Just think about it. Just think about it. So because there is a lot of uncertainty about the effects of the monetary policy. So there is one model which is saying that if you increase the money supply, output is not going to increase. There is one model which is saying that if you increase the money supply, output is going to increase by 17.9%. There is, so I mean, it can reach from anywhere to anywhere. So there is an uncertainty. So in that case, what Blanket is saying that increasing money supply by 23.8% in the presence of uncertainty is very irresponsible. So we should rather do what models, we should rather do less than what models are saying. Right? So given the uncertainty about the effects of monetary policy on output, the central bank should increase money supply by much less than 23.8%. So what models are saying, don't just go over to what one particular model is trying to say, right? So you may falter. I mean, you may not be able to achieve what you actually want to achieve. So you don't know what in reality it will look like. So all of these are models. They're based on different assumptions. They're based on forecasts. So you don't know what is going to happen. So there is substantial uncertainty as far as the macro models are concerned. So idea is that the policymakers, they should be very cautious in using these macroeconomic models. And Blanket has used a very beautiful line. He says this, that policies, they should be broadly aimed at reducing the prolonged recession, right? And it should slow down booms, because the thing is, the thing which is going very high, thing which is going up very soon, it is also going to come down very soon. So you should try to avoid or slow down the booms, and you should try to avoid the inflationary pressures, right? So they should try to fine tune of trying to achieve the constant unemployment or the constant output growth. So it's not exactly good enough that you do what exactly the model is saying. Try to do little lesser than this. Be less active than what models are trying to say. That is what an idea is. That is what an idea is. So this was the case of self-restraint by policymakers. In the next class, we're going to talk about the restraints on policymakers. So all of this was self-restrained by policymakers. So policymakers themselves are restrained. All right. They should avoid having a very active policy making, instead of go slow, right? And because there is an uncertainty which is involved with the macroeconomic models, and they should rather try to But they can also be the case where the restraints have to be put on policymakers. So these are two different things. So what we have seen is an example of self-restraint by policymakers. Right. So this is what I wanted to do in this class. Right. Thank you, Beta.